The opinions expressed here are those of the students and do not necessarily reflect the positions of Tyler Junior College.
Coming up on the Drumbeat, we have an update on student organization Turning Point USA. Then we look at the official start of homecoming. Later, we ask students about midterm prep on our Drumbeat on the Street. The Drumbeat starts right now.
Broadcasting live from Studio 1108 in Jenkins Hall on the campus of Tyler Junior College. This is the Drumbeat, bringing you the latest from students like us.
I'm Justin Walters. We bring you an update now about Turning Point USA. The conservative group was once again denied recognition by the Student Senate. The Student Senate reconsidered the recognition of the group due to an error in procedure. On Tuesday, October 12th, the Student Senate had 2 votes related to the organization, one to rescind their original vote and another to consider recognition. Turning Point USA is one of only 2 organizations denied recognition, the other being the TJC Baha'i Club, which was denied 11 years ago, according to the religious group sponsor. Arguments about the motion were plenty with members on both sides.
Which is why I want to thoroughly emphasize our stance that there is nothing wrong with the conservative group on campus. Our issue is not with you, but with the founders of this specific organization above you. It is designed to spread hate and indoctrination, regardless of the intentions of members.
We are not a hate-based organization. We are an organization created to encompass the values of freedom and intellectual discussion pertaining to economic issues facing our country.
The vote was conducted by secret ballot with 10 votes nay and 9 votes yea, with some groups abstaining, including the Drumbeat student media. Homecoming is back this year and just around the corner. With homecoming comes TJC's oldest and most popular tradition, beating the drum. Bum, 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 bum. This year, the drum beat is happening on the steps of the Rogers Student Center, and it will last 24 hours a day from Monday the 18th to kickoff on Saturday the 23rd. Spots are still available, and the link can be found on TJC's homecoming page. During Mental Health Week at TJC, TheraPet visited the campus with their therapy dogs. TheraPet is an organization that offers animal-assisted therapy. They came to offer their services to TJC students in order to reduce stress for Mental Health Week and educate students on the opportunities and benefits of animal-assisted therapy. Many students stopped by to see the therapy dogs. Here's what one student had to say.
It's definitely reduced stress because puppies are amazing, and just being able to have an interaction where it helps with calming yourself down. It helps a lot.
Last week, Mr. Adam Grode played instruments in the performance hall. Mr. Grode visited TJC to give a lecture on Central Asia through music from various regions. The native of Kazakhstan played unique versions of the guitar and drums that are commonly found within the Middle Eastern landscape. Mr. Grode used music to convey the complicated issues that surround Central Asia. The show closed with a group performance involving students. Make sure to check out other events just like this one on the TJC homepage. Sly Fox was a smashing success last weekend, attracting multiple full houses, and that's saying a lot. The audience found the play hilarious, and some audience members even said that it's one of the best plays they've seen in a long time. The actors had a fun time not only producing the play, but starring in it. With a hilarious script and a fantastic cast, there were no surprises to its success. Now to this week's Drumbeat on the Street. Santiago Nunez asked TJC students whether or not they would be studying for midterms, and if so, how exactly that would play out.
Good afternoon. My name is Santiago Nunez, and I'm here with Drumbeat on the Street. And today, I'm going to be asking people what they're doing to prepare for midterms, or if at all. What does your preparation usually consist of? Reading textbooks, making Quizlets, discussing with friends?
Usually, I just go over the notes that I take in class. I try and write down definitions and like equations or anything like that, and then I'll go over it and make sure that I understand everything, and if not, then I'll go to the textbook.
Do you ever think midterms or quizzes even feel a little overbearing or too stressful at times?
I think sometimes when they're about obscure things that the teacher hasn't taught very well, but if it's about like important things that have been discussed well in class or that were covered well in the material, then I don't really see a problem with them.
Do you plan on studying, if at all, for upcoming midterms?
Yes, I do plan on studying for midterms.
How does that usually go? Do you run by some notes? Do you make a Quizlet, discuss with friends?
I usually look over my notes and redo assignments, just like practice problems, basically.
Do you ever feel that midterms can feel a little overbearing or stressful?
Sometimes, yes. It depends on which class it is.
Do you plan on studying for upcoming midterms, if at all?
Yes, I do plan on studying.
How do you plan on going over the material?
I plan on going over like review questions that the professor provides us, or if any, or just going back through my notes or any assignments that we've done in the past.
Do you ever feel a little stressed out or concerned if you'll do well on the midterms?
Yes, but I feel I'm like more stressed about finals.
Do you think professors could do a little more to prepare you for midterms or finals? Do you ever feel a little underprepared, if at all?
Well, I mean, not right now. Probably when we get closer to the midterms, I will, but right now I'm doing okay. I guess I could probably inform students about how it's actually going to be, because I feel like a lot of people don't really know, like understand how it's going to be, so that's why they get so much anxiety. Because that's kind of how it was for me. Like with just taking tests and stuff, I didn't realize how easy it was going to be. But, so yeah, I think if professors were just more upfront, didn't kind of like make it as big of a deal. I mean, like it is a big deal, but I feel like they kind of add on to the stress a little bit.
With winter coming and trees losing some of their limbs, branches have been falling on the cars of students and faculty members. Just yesterday, a branch crashed into a stationary car's windshield. This is not the first reported vehicle damage caused by a branch this semester. One of our reporters was able to speak with a student who was there when the branch fell yesterday.
Whenever I was in my car, I saw the tree fall and then hit the cars. There's two of them here, and all you could hear was a snap and then a big boom.
Did you see any of the other cars that allegedly have gotten hit by branches?
No, just these two.
Are you afraid of parking your car under the trees on this campus now due to the event happening at the very least 2 times?
I have parked my car over here a few times, and I have heard around campus that it's kind of dangerous to do it here. So I have started not parking here, even though it's harder to find a parking spot. I just find one in the parking lot still, not under the trees.
Coming up after the break, our host Nikki T. Harina will be interviewing a freshman member of the TJC Apache Band. Stay with us.
It takes less than 1 minute to find out if you may have prediabetes. You can do it here. But you probably won't. You're busy. Kids, work, show coming back in 48 seconds. So let's do this now. Hold up one finger if you're a man, women, 0. 3 more fingers if you're over 60, 2 over 50, 1 over 40. If you're not sure, keep in mind you're sitting on a couch right now, so 1 more finger if you're not very active. 1 finger if yes, 0 if no. 1 yes, 0 no. Next, find the body type that looks most like you and hold up that many fingers while I look around awkwardly. And that's it. If you're holding up 5 fingers or more, you probably have prediabetes. Sorry to be so blunt, but hey, you're busy. Just go to the site.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies. Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. He's here. He's here. Wait. Why?
I can't drive.
Why?
My.
Oh.
Welcome back to the Drum Beat. For our today's guest, we have Pi Theta Kappa member Zachary Zermo to talk about homecoming. All right. So what events are you personally excited for?
Me personally, I'm really excited for the golf cart, for being in the parade, because we're making it look like a DeLorean. And honestly, I'm just excited to actually be able to run for Homecoming King and represent PTK.
So when you say DeLorean, you do mean from Back to the Future?
Yes, like Back to the Future style
Yes.
DeLorean. Because the theme is virtual reality. So we figured, what do you think of when you think of virtual reality? That's like the 70s grid theme. So we're really making our whole campaign and the whole homecoming event for us kind of around Back to the Future.
All right. So do all of your plans involve this Back to the Future theme look?
Kind of like a theme for our little nomination stand where we kind of go out and try to get votes for Homecoming King. We actually will be having like a VR set up so students can just come up and play the VR and kind of just get involved around campus.
So you did tell me before our interview that you were running for Homecoming King, and is your little VR station your plan to take the win?
I'm hoping so, because I mean, it fits the theme perfectly. Virtual reality, VR, why not? It's gonna be a hassle bringing it up to the campus, that's for sure.
All right, so are there any concerns you have with homecoming this year, either with just the events overall or just with Phi Theta Kappa?
Not at all. I think it's gonna go fairly smooth, more smooth than what I've heard from last homecomings, so.
What stories have you heard from past homecomings? I'm curious.
I've heard short amount of time on the homecomings. That's just what I've heard from other students, that it's not, you don't get a long time, it's like very fast paced, but now that we get a little bit longer, it should be a lot easier for other organizations to kind of campaign.
All right, thank you. When we come back, we have another interview with a Pi Theta Kappa member.
There was a time in my life where I was extremely homesick. I decided that I needed a pet. When I first saw a turtle, my heart was full. He jumped up and kissed me and jumped right into my arms. I immediately went up to the volunteers at the shelter and said, I want him. He's got to come home with me. Not anything but lonely. Every day with Turtle is a perfect day and keeps me company when I'm doing schoolwork. I like it when he jumps up on the table too. He is a veggie thief. He's an incredible companion and my best friend. Can't say that I've met anybody that doesn't love him too. When I adopted Turtle, I discovered all the things that make him unique. He's a little bit of a lot of things, but mostly he's all pure love.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies. Selfie. Nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
Welcome back to the Drumbeat Sports. I'm Kiera Robinson, your sports anchor. The TJC volleyball team lost to Blinn College on Tuesday, October 5th. The score was 3-0. Also, they lost to the Panola team, with the score also being 3-0. This upcoming weekend, the TJC volleyball team will be heading to the West Plains tournament located in Missouri. The week after that, the volleyball team will be playing against Trinity Valley on October 9th at 7 p.m. The TJC Apache football team played the Northeastern Oklahoma Golden Norsemen, defeating them 33-21. The Apache defense carried the team to a win with 4 turnovers, 2 of which were returned for touchdowns. Justin Clemson had 2 interceptions and 1 touchdown return. Kobe Savage had 1 interception and touchdown return. The final turnover was fumble caused by Jacoby Humphrey. This was General Booty's only game without a passing touchdown. Although he had a running back, Ashwan Dingle had a rushing touchdown each. The TJC Apache soccer team beat the Blinn College Buccaneers this past Wednesday 3-0. The first goal was scored in the 5th minute by Ashelina Galikuto, with the assist going to Tammy Groendyke. The second goal went in at the 47th minute with Groendyke scoring the goal, and Galikuto assisting. The goal was scored in the 75th minute by Alexandra Goncalves, with Rocio Fernandez getting the assist. One of our reporters spoke with the women's soccer coach about what he thinks of the team's performance thus far.
What do you think the team needs to work on the most
The team
to continue the success?
Yeah, we had that today in training. We were talking, we need to be better in the offensive third, which means in our runs and our shooting and our scoring ability. I talked to him, we're winning games because we're pretty good right now, but we have so much more we can accomplish and so much potential that's untapped in our players, and we're trying to get them to realize that. I told him today, I think, there's not a team we shouldn't have scored 5 goals on this year. And it's just come down to tactical awareness, reading the game, and knowing where we should go with the ball. And so we're trying to train on that a little bit more. We hit it today and we're hitting it tomorrow.
What do you think's been the team's greatest strength?
It's defense. I mean, it's defense. We're preaching our defense is going to lead to our offense. So last year we changed to more of a pressing style, aggressive as you're using, aggressive style of defense. So we want to pressure the other team, high pressure them. We found that the other teams don't do well under pressure. And that's one thing when I recruit players, I want to know that they can perform under pressure. Anybody can do things when there's no pressure, but what can you do when you're under pressure? So that's what we want to do to the other teams, is put them under so much pressure that they can't make the decisions, they don't know how to handle it. And we're going to get the ball in the offensive third, hopefully, in better positions to score more goals.
The team plays Northeast Texas Community College today at 5 p.m. at home before traveling to play Paris Community College this Saturday. Our sports correspondent, Paris McGinnings of the Drumbeat News, interviewed the men's head soccer coach, Steve Clemens, in the first edition of Sports Chaos.
I'm Steve Clements, men's soccer coach.
All right, how you doing, Mr. Clements?
I'm doing well, thank you.
All right, so my first question is, how did you feel introducing soccer to the state of Mississippi?
Well, I don't know that I introduced soccer to the state of Mississippi. I happened to be on the first team that was ever assembled in the state of Mississippi. So it was actually a guy named Albert Lyle that introduced soccer to the state of Mississippi. And but anyway, it was I was certainly in from the beginnings of it, and there was nobody to play. We had to go to New Orleans, Louisiana to get to play a game. And so I guess I grew up around it, but when I grew up, it was just something that you kind of did in the off season of the other sports, because we had football in the fall, and then you did other things in the spring, baseball or whatever. And so, you really didn't. It was so new to everybody that you just played it as something kind of to do in the wintertime with your buddies.
All right. Well, you arrived here at TJC in 2002 after winning a national championship. What made you make that decision?
Well, I always was impressed by Tyler Junior College. I was at a community college in Mississippi. It was a smaller school. We had about 3,500 students at Meridian Community College, and then I came, I was always impressed. We played Tyler, every year. In fact, the first game that Meridian ever played was against Tyler in 1994. So that was there's a long relationship with Tyler Junior College that I had. And we had been to several national tournaments, and we had met Dr. Drain and John Peterson. Tyler was trying to get the national tournament to host it here. It had been in Trenton, New Jersey forever, and I was able to meet them. And then Dr. Jones retired. He was here. He started the program here and did a great job with it. And then it just I was in the right place, right time, and I just thought this was a a place that, you know, I just liked the atmosphere of Tyler Junior College and wanted to be a part of it.
Well, speaking of being a part of Tyler Junior College, you have brought 6 national championships here. Out of the 6, which one stands out as your favorite, if any?
You know, they're all great. So, you know, there's something special about each one. Obviously, probably the one that probably meant the most at the time was the first one, you know, and that was a real moment of pride for us. You know, in '09, we won it in Trenton, New Jersey, and it was a great group of young men. They went undefeated that season, so that was you know, to me, it, you know, it kind of, we got things kind of the ball rolling.
Okay. I'm going to list off some accomplishments, if you don't mind. 18 NJCAA Hall of Famers, 7 National Players of the Year, and 6 of your players have been drafted into MLS. How do you explain that?
We had great players.
I mean, don't you think there's a pattern there somewhere? It's just, you don't just luck into that.
Well, I mean, you know, what happens is, you know, obviously any team that's, you know, is successful, that's where the people want to go, you know, to that school and to that program. And so, you know, it's kind of sold itself, you know, more or less, because, you know, the success has brought, you know, better and better players. And I think that's, you know, what's lent itself to that kind of, to bringing in those kinds of players, students.
Okay. Well, with the majority of your career, it's been amazing. As of right now, what are your realistic expectations of the season, and where do you see yourself in the future?
I think this team can compete for a national championship. I mean, I think they can compete. You know, they've certainly played well, and I like our group, and they work hard, and so I think we're headed in the right direction. We've got a lot to do still, but I think they can, you know, reach some lofty goals, and then they certainly have the potential. And then as far as the future goes, you know, we'll see where it takes us. I'm kind of a day-by-day guy, I guess, you know. So yeah, that's right. I'm about, yeah, today, you know, for sure. And so, you know, obviously we want to see continued success for our athletes, and we want to see them continue to move on and do well in the classroom and go to nice schools and finish their degrees. And, you know, we wish them all the success that they could possibly have, and then we just hope we're a small part of that.
Oh, well, thank you for your time, and have a great day, and I hope you have a great season.
Thanks, Parrish.
All right, Steve Clemens, everybody.
Appreciate it.
Coming up next, we continue our interview with the Phi Theta Kappa president. Stay with us.
This is the story of a boy who didn't talk for a long time. The boy liked things to always be the same. Any changes would scare and upset him. The unknown was an unfriendly place. The boy was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where they couldn't get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. He wasn't trying to be mean, it just made him feel uncomfortable. Sometimes he would flap his arms again and again.
One day, I found out I had something called autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I found my voice and learned all the ways I could live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Welcome back to the Drum Beat. We have an interview with another Phi Theta Kappa member, Trinity Ramirez, with a history of the organization. All right, Miss Trinity. So what exactly is Phi Theta Kappa before we get started?
It's an honor society that helps students get certain opportunities like scholarships, but also community service, opportunities-wise.
All right. And what are the requirements to join your organization?
3.5 GPA and be able to maintain it, as well as I think it's full-time, like full hours-wise.
All right. And for community service, is it just things around TJC or all around Tyler?
All around Tyler. We've done Pet Haven, where we've gone and walked dogs, or adopt a highway around the school to like help clean up the community and stuff like that.
So what has been your favorite community service act so far?
Adopt the Highway. I just like it.
Your own little highway. Yeah. Aw. Well, are there any future plans for your organization other than homecoming, of course?
Not that I know of. I know that we're doing one thing with scholarships, trying to bring more students in so they know they have the opportunities to help, further their education, but also be financially supported as well. But that's probably about it as of right now.
Are there any specific scholarships y'all are looking at to give out?
There's the STAR scholarship, which is going to be around springtime, and it's PTK members and all that stuff, but there's still time to join Phi Theta Kappa at the moment.
All right, and so what has been your favorite experience with this organization so far?
Running around with Gigi Delk, my advisor of Phi Theta Kappa. She is just an energy ball. I love her to death. It's never a dull moment.
All right, coming up after the break, we have a look at Texas and a Texas A&M Chemistry Roadshow. We'll be right back.
My mother was always very familiar with her neighborhood, but one day she stopped at the stop sign for much longer than usual, and she didn't know whether she should go forward or turn, and she wasn't even really sure where she was at. It was very unsettling for her.
I felt so much better after my son told me, "Mom, I don't want you to worry or be afraid. I'll be there for you and we'll figure it out."
Life can be hard. Taking care of your mental health shouldn't be. Vote for your life.
If you love them enough to suck the snot out of their nose at 4 a.m., then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Welcome back to the Drumbeat. Before we go, here's one more story, and it is about the Texas A&M Chemistry Show. It was swung by TJC on Saturday, giving a fun face to the science. The show aims to educate and entertain people of all ages with the science of chemistry. From firing cannons to colorful mixtures of liquid nitrogen, this show has a wide selection for all kinds of people. While each demonstration takes only a few minutes, hours of prep work goes into every show. According to James Pennington, the show's host.
Again, there's an entire van load of stuff. I pretty much empty that van and bring everything in. So there's a lot of equipment to bring in, a lot of individual things to set up. But I think it's worth the time and the effort.
Is currently on the road, with the next stop being at Texas A&M's own chemistry building. The show is free to attend and made possible with the support of Texas A&M Chemistry Department, the Texas A&M College of Science, Shell Oil Company, and Dow Chemical Company. Nikki, back to you.
Thank you for joining us today, and remember, you can always find the latest news at thedrumbeat.com.
Those are the students and do not necessarily reflect the positions of Tyler Junior College.